Alright, it's Jelly here, and I got a battle here with Dizzy. I haven't been posting again because I've been pretty busy. I've been going around doing tons of stuff for no reason. But once again, I am trying to upload videos, and this is just one I felt I had to upload. So I lead off with my Littlefoot, which I haven't used since I was using Diamond, which means that's about 40-ish videos in the back. If you look in the past, you can look in the vault of my videos and see me use this thing. So I know the Machamp pretty much gonna be scared away because it can't do much, and I see a Gyarados come in, so I'm figuring Waterfall. So I go to my Gyarados counter, which is a Vaporeon, which handles this thing pretty nicely. So he goes out into this Metagross, and I go for the Surf, and I'm like, yes, if it's an offensive Metagross, it's gonna do a lot of damage. But from the damage that it did do, I know it's a bulky one. He goes for the Light Screen, and I'm like, oh shit, this is gonna be really annoying. So Metagross is just there looking like it's not gonna die, but I'm just gonna keep surfing because I'm not switching out. It makes no sense. I'm just gonna keep surfing. I don't think it has explosion once I saw the Stealth Rock, so I just stay in and keep surfing, waiting for either the Light Screen to fade or for him to just switch out. And he goes for a Meteor Mash, which is gonna do absolutely nothing. And I'm just gonna keep using Surf. I'm gonna pretty much take this thing to almost kill range, so when it switches back in later, I will be able to kill it because I know it's going to switch out eventually. So he switches out and goes back to his Machamp, and I go for the Surf, and it's going to do nothing. And then his Light Screen wears out, which is pretty good because his next Surf is going to do a nice chunk of damage, and I figure I just stay in. I'm not switching just yet because I think I can get a free Surf in before he Dynamic Punches me, and I know I could be able to live that pretty nicely. And yes, I'm right, I stay on green, which is great. So I'm just gonna switch out at this point, go back into my Nidoqueen, who's gonna take that Dynamic Punch like a beast. And I'm confused now, but I knew that the switch to Gyarados is going to come, so I'll go for an Ice Beam. But yeah, I get confused, so that plan just failed. And I see this Gyarados, and it's really annoying me because I know I'm just gonna have to keep on doing something to it. And so I bring back in my my Vaporeon. He roars me away, and I'm like, oh my god, he has Roar. This is gonna be one of those annoying Waterfall, Roar, rest talking things that I be seeing nowadays. And so he switches me out to my Latias, so I Dragon Pulse, and he just roars again. So he goes back into my Breloom. He just scout me out. And I don't mind the scouting because he's not really doing any damage. This thing with just Waterfall and Roar and with just Stealth Rock up really isn't gonna threaten my team. It's just gonna annoy me. So I'm happy with that. So with the Breloom, I go for a Seed Bomb. I have no reason why I didn't just Spore because that rest thing was just annoying. But whatever. So I go for another Seed-Bomb, probably expecting a switch, even though I should have just substituted. But I don't want to substitute because I figured the Sleep Talk would get the Roar, which would really be useless for me. So he switches me back into my Latias, and I'm like, okay, let's try this again. So I go for another Dragon Pulse, and I'm like, yeah, this is going to do a pretty nice chunk of damage. And he's asleep, and he uses Sleep Talk, and he gets a rest, which is great for me because now I have a chance to kill this thing. At least I think so. So I switch out, and because I figured that the Dragon Pulse will not kill him from that health, and he would just rest up. So I'll bring in Vaporeon, but instead he outpredicts me and goes for a Roar, which sucks. So now I figured he would try to Waterfall me, thinking I wouldn't switch because of the Roar. And yeah, instead he just rests and plays it really safe, which makes me look kind of stupid. But oh well, I got my Vaporeon in here pretty safely. So I use my Wish, and he's not going to do any sort of Sleep Talk because he doesn't want to get Waterfall and give me health back. So he Sleep Talks now because he sees the Wish. He's praying he gets the Roar, and he gets the Roar. So I go right back into my Latias, which this thing is just being like dragged out a whole bunch of times. So I go for a Calm On because I know when he wakes up he's just gonna roar me, so might as well just do that. And he finally brings into my Machamp. This is the Pokemon I was hoping he would bring in because I was thinking that this thing could do pretty much damage to anything I saw from his team so far, which is which it does. It is going to do a lot of damage to a lot of things, as you will see right now. So I dynamic punch expecting a switch, and he just doesn't do it, and he gets hurt. So now I go for the Stone Edge because I think he's going to stay in, and he doesn't do that. He goes into this Metagross, and I'm like, if he has Explosion, this is the only time he's going to have to tell me. And instead he uses the Light Screen, probably prepping for the future, but there's no future for that Metagross because he just gets destroyed. It brings out Lucario, and I'm like, okay, this Lucario is not going to kill me with anything. So uses Close Combat, and I'm like, alright, that's not really going to work. So I Dynamic Punch, and it's just going to completely annihilate Lucario, which is great for me. And Brock Lesnar is just killing everybody like he does in UFC. So just for you to know. And this is funny because this is not a speed tie. I do have 4 EVs in speed, which is hilarious because I know he doesn't have 4 EVs in his speed. So Dynamic Punch pretty much kills him. So he brings out the Salamence, and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna die, but I've done my job. But just in case he tries to go for a Dragon Dance or something like that, so I stood in because I knew a Stone Edge would be pretty nice. And he gets a crit on the Earthquake, and I'm like, okay, that probably didn't matter. So I go into my Latias this time, and my Latias, I'm hoping at least that from that health I could Dragon Pulse and kill him, and it doesn't work. Instead he Dragon Claws me, and we both die because of his life orb. I don't know what kind of Salamence that was. Was it bulky or something, or was it just that it just survives that? I'm not sure. I don't really care. And then I just saw the Light Screen. That's exactly why. Okay, now that answers my own question. So I know he only has the Gyarados and this Heatran that he just revealed to me. And just in case this Scarf, I want to protect and scout out and try to get some lefties back and see if I could survive in Earth Power. Because I saw the leftovers, I thought he would substitute, so I would go for a Surf to break it sub, maybe, because he's expecting my switch and a whole bunch of stuff that really didn't matter because he switches into the Gyarados. And at this point he thought he had a pretty good position on me because he didn't think I had the HP Electric, which I do because I really hadn't done it the whole game, and I wasn't showing that I had it and he making any predictions into the Gyarados or nothing like that. So he really didn't think. And now he goes back into his Heatran and is forced to run away because he really can't do nothing. So that was the battle. Hope you enjoyed. Peace out.